And we've just listened to President Trump holding a campaign rally, one of his Make America Great Again rallies. There in Mesa, Arizona. He was stumping for Senate candidate Martha McSally and other Republican candidates there. CBS News national correspondent Chip Reid has been traveling with the president and joins me now. Chip, what was the atmosphere like on the ground there? Give us some color, if you will.
Well, it was like it always is. These people just love him. The people who come to the Donald Trump MAGA, Make America Great Again rallies absolutely love him. I will say they do start to filter out about halfway through as he starts to get a bit redundant and starts to vamp. But the ones who stay, and I would say the vast majority do stay, really enjoy it, and they just love him. And it was very interesting to see how he started this. The Marine One, the helicopter he came in on, is over there, and first they had the Osprey aircraft that carried the press and the staff come in, and then another helicopter came in, and then finally Marine One came in, and he really knows how to put on a show.
It is a show.
This is something this is something that President Obama or George W. Bush would never have done.
No.
But he really takes advantage of the opportunity to give them the best show he can possibly give them.
And I think he loves it. It's clear, this is half the fun, if not more, of being president for Donald Trump. So, Chip, remind us, why is the president in Arizona exactly? We know he's stumping for Martha McSally. How close is this race?
Well, it's a very close race, and it's the same reason that he's going to be in Nevada tomorrow. It's the same reason that he was in Montana the day before that, and it's the day before yesterday. And it's the same reason he's going to Texas early next week, and probably Tennessee, and all the races, all the close Senate races are what he really cares about. There's no way he can cover the country for all the close House races or the ones that are up in the air. But in the Senate, it's a relatively small number of races, and he can hit each state where there's a really close race. And if he loses the Senate, that's big trouble. If he loses the House, that's trouble. If he loses the House and the Senate, that is really big trouble for the president. So he is doing everything he can to hold on to the Senate. And the race here in Arizona is very close, and it's going to be all about turnout. It's going to be who can get their base to get out to the polls, and if anybody can get the Republican base out there, it is Donald Trump.
Chip, I noticed he did something a little different in this rally from some of the others. He sort of danced around the Hispanic vote a bit. I mean, obviously, Arizona is a state with a solid Hispanic bloc. So at the same time, he was rallying against illegal immigration and catch and release and all of these things. He still wanted to see a show of hands of people in the crowd who are Hispanic. He by his estimate, he said, about 10%, that's not bad. So it was a delicate balancing act there. Do we know how popular the president is among Hispanics in Arizona?
It's really hard to tell because the vote in 2016 of Hispanics here and in other places was different than people expected. So it's hard to tell. But you did touch on what I think was the most important thing in this rally and the big difference from other rallies, that in the last few days he has really latched on to the immigration issue and in particular the caravan issue. He is trying to turn the caravan into something to be feared by Americans, especially by Republicans who he wants to turn out and vote. And he is just hammering away on that theme. And he's characterizing the Democrats' position on immigration in an even more exaggerated way than he has in the past, saying that Democrats actually want criminals and drug dealers to come here because they will vote Democratic.
Right.
All of the people who will come here illegally will vote Democratic. So he's really going overboard to convince people that the situation on the border is just horrendously dangerous right now. And don't forget, the caravan is still down at the Mexico-Guatemala border, which if you were to walk that, and most of these people are walking it, if you were walking from there to Texas, that would be like walking from Washington, D.C. to Florida. If you walk from there to here in Arizona, that would be like walking from Washington, D.C. to to Texas. So it's not as though they're going to be arriving any day. And Mexico is doing a much more serious job than they have in the past to try to keep them from coming here. They have said that they're going to allow people in if they have papers. They're going to consider asylum cases. But people who don't have papers and are not do not qualify for asylum are going to be sent back, mostly to Honduras. But there are also some people from Guatemala and from El Salvador. And Mexico is taking a much harder line than they have in the past. So it's probably going to be much more difficult for these people to make that incredibly long and arduous journey from the border, the southern border of Mexico, to the U.S. border with Mexico.
Well, absolutely. Chip Reid, thank you so much. Try and get some rest. We know it's been a long day for you. Thank